Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Paul Brown Show. This evening, I have as my guest Miss Precious Pauling. How are you doing, ma'am?
I am doing amazing. I am grateful and honored to be here with you today.
Thank you for being on the Paul Brown Show. You are a prophetic poet.
Yes.
First of all, tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am at this time, I'm 39 years old. I am a wife of 17 years.
Okay,
mom
congratulations.
Thank you. Right, woo-woo for that.
Who's the proud guy?
Rondell Paul, and he is the
Okay,
proud
give a shout
guy.
out.
So shout out to my husband, who is amazing. I'm telling you, if you can get yourself a life partner that believes in you and supports you, then
Correct.
I call him my journey buddy. So
Okay,
he's
congratulations.
awesome. I have 5 amazing kids. I have a daughter who is
Okay.
about to leave for college.
Oh.
And so I'm a little bipolar with my emotions right now, but nonetheless, I'm excited because she is prepared. I always say our kids come through us, they don't belong to us, and she is the oldest of all 5, and I have 3 girls and 2 boys, and so the boys are twins. So I have a set of twins.
Okay.
They'll be 10 years old coming up soon, and I have 3 daughters. So I have an 18-year-old, one that's about to be 14, the other one's about to be 12, and the twins are turning 10, October, November, December. So y'all pray for me on that too.
You don't want to give a shout out to them or anything like that?
Shout out to Essence, Rayvon, Rondell Jr., Serenity, and Neve Paul. And those are
Hey,
my,
I know they're proud
joys.
of their mother.
Oh, they are so proud. And what's so good is that it is something to be able to be living out your dreams in front
Correct.
of them, because instead of telling them to fly, you show them how to fly. And so I'm grateful that I can actually be in position to let them see what I'm saying, because it's not everything we say, but what they see that dictates who they become.
You are a prophetic poet.
Yes.
First of all, tell the audience, what is that?
What that is as well, the way I describe it
Yes.
is, I say as God whispers to me, I write it down.
Okay.
And so the gifting is, if I'm in your presence, anybody's presence, whatever they're going through, or even if I know enough about your situation, it's like your feelings or your emotions fall on me,
Okay.
and then poetry comes in my head. And so I say, as God whispers, I write it down. And so I write down, it may take me 15 minutes. And it's just got a beginning, a middle, and end, but it's all God. I think it's all love. It's all about us understanding that the process we go through is what makes us so powerful. And so he gives me the words to, I think, bring healing and nurture into one's soul in order to be prepared to transform through life and be okay with the, the structure of life.
Correct. So, how long have you been doing prophetic poetry?
I've been doing it since I was 12, so over 2 decades now. So.
And what made you decide to get into this?
Well, I got into it, so I've always loved poetry. Like, I
Okay.
love the way it sounds. And I didn't even have a favorite poet at the time
Correct.
because I was 12. But I was at a church, and I was a part of a group, and they were having a youth Sunday. And so everybody had to bring a talent. Everybody had to do something. And so I knew I couldn't dance, and I knew I couldn't sing, but I had a love for poetry because I think, I know for a fact that what's in you is already in you. It's about
Correct.
you tapping into that. And so I said, well, you know what? I'm going to do a poem. So let's find out what the theme is. I got the theme, and then 15 minutes later, I wrote a poem. I brought it back to them, and the reaction was so astounding. So, I was like, oh, my God, what's going on here? And so that is what led me into it. And then I became the go-to poet, even as a young age growing up, for every event, everything that was going on. I would just bring the words, because, poetry just brings everything together.
So, what motivates you to do what you do?
What motivates me is just the passion I believe inside, and just being open and receptive to what I feel. And so I get motivated every time I see somebody open up and transform from something that comes so simple to me. And so my motivation is the reaction of other people when I take something that came easily and it transformed their whole life. So the light that I see, arise in people's eyes and their spirit and their soul when I speak is what motivates me to keep on going and keep on bringing more and new things to, transform them.
Can you kind of free flow right now and just give us a little example of?
I would love to. This one I love is called Lost in the Time.
Okay.
I'm so lost in the time trying desperately to see clear. What turn did I miss or what message I didn't hear? For I'm walking this path on this future I didn't plan, and no matter how fast I'm moving, it seems in the same place that I stand. Because I want so many things, but I just can't get it right. And at this time, my spirit and flesh are in a fight. But I'm stuck in the middle trying to choose which way to go, and I'm going through these obstacles, and each day I never know. Is this the day that my Lord will rescue me, cast out all these spirits, and set my body free? For I long for a peace that I once knew, long to let go of the path that I can't go back through. Trying hard to accept the letdowns to myself and embrace who I am, to let go of my pride and grasp my fellow loved one's hand. For they are reaching out for me, but I must convince them I got it together, knowing that I'm getting cold and wet in this stormy weather. And so I'm asking God, why do you have the rain fall on me the way you do? And he simply answers, that's not the rain, but that's my tears anointing you. For I know what I placed in you to be, and I'm just putting you in storms so that you can see. Look at who you are and search for my divinity in thee, and know that this place in your life is where I needed you to be. For I needed you to experience some hurts and letdowns so you can connect yourself to me and embrace the life I gave you and be the best that you can be. I love you, my child, and I'm watching up above. So I ask that you stop searching, for I am, and there is no greater love. And so that's an example of just one of the
Hey,
movies.
you did it.
Thank
you did
you.
it.
Thank you.
So how does it feel to know that God has blessed you with this, with this talent?
I feel honored. I feel grateful. And I feel like it was worth the price of admission because, of course, you don't get this type of gifting without going through some type of struggle, right? Because your pain is what you turn into power.
Okay.
And so I learned to be grateful for my experience dealing with molestation as a kid and just having different traumas in my life. Instead of, I always say the who may kill you, but the what will heal you.
Correct.
And so the what is what God had to pull out of me. So in order for him to get me in that place to hear what he's saying, I think he had to put me in a wilderness. And I think those are the trials that we go through in life that allows us to dig deep into who we were created to be in order to bring the light that only we can bring.
So do you have a career, or is this your, what you do?
It is my career. I have turned my passion into a career, and
Okay.
so I do keynote speaking. I'm an author of 4 books, one called 365 Days of Loving Yourself to Life.
Okay.
The other one, and that is just a book of affirmations to go with my movement, which is I Choose Me, #No More Excuses. Something else that was birthed in the whole transformation of me.
Correct.
I also have a book of poetry that I wrote back in 2007, which is called Precious Thoughts from the Soul, which is 50 of my original poems. And I am about to release this month my children's book, which will come in 2 different parts. It'll be a girls and a boys edition, and it is called How Special Are You? Well, You're One of a Kind. Because I know one thing for sure, the reason why we get to show up is because somebody saw us, somebody celebrated us,
Correct.
somebody loved us. And so I want to give our kids the tools that will equip them to be able to walk into their destiny a whole lot sooner than we did.
How do you balance this, being an author, being a poet, being a mother, being a wife? How do you balance all that and still
Show up, right?
correct?
Well, I balance it by, I think, the movement I Choose Me, which teaches to take care of you first. So it's really not a hard balancing game when you fill yourself up, because you're thinking, if you are taking care of you and you're doing your personal work and you're filling up to those levels, then you overflow into the wife and you overflow into the mom and you overflow into the friend. The reason why we struggle with balance is because we haven't overflowed ourselves first in order to have something to give out. And so because I got the secret, which is if I can focus on me and take care of me, then I'm better for everybody else. And so the balance comes easier the more you recognize that you are not your roles and titles, but you are more on assignment. And because I got that focus and I got that direction, it helps me to be able to be conscious of how I show up as a mom and how I show up as a wife and how I show up as a friend.
So how does your family accept all the gifts that you have?
I think they're proud. I think they're more proud. They're more excited. They're waiting for the explosion, you
Okay.
know. So, I mean, having them a part of the beginning, the foundation, and seeing it come to pass and watching a book come and watching a movement come and watching a logo form, like, so they're actually transitioning, and so they are just as excited to see what will it become, right? Because I believe that your passion leads you to your purpose, like I said, which is then the promise. And so I think they're more waiting on a promise now, but they are really excited about, you know, because I'm excited. And I
Correct.
believe that when you're excited about something, people use your blueprint. And so how you show up, that energy you use is what they're going to carry. And so I'm intentional about carrying that excitement, and they want whatever I want because that's what love looks like.
So when you are performing in front of crowds, how does that affect you, knowing that you're getting ready to bless them with some powerful words?
You know, before, I think the more I have gotten comfortable and understood the gifting on me, the more calm I am. I used to be a nervous wreck. Like,
Okay.
I used to do every Sunday after Sunday and still be nervous every time, right? But now I'm more like, just like, oh man, they're not even ready. I'm so excited of the light that I know that they're gonna receive when I leave that stage. And so now I'm moving and shaking in my impact and less in the dream, you know. And so the impact got me so excited because I know that once I leave this stage, somebody's going to be different. I know once I leave this stage, somebody's going to dream. They're going to let go. They're going to go through some healing. They're going to be better for themselves. And so I'm just more excited of knowing what I'm carrying, and I just want everybody to get a piece.
Describe that time, that special time when you got emotionally, with all that you have done and with the talent that it really, you really, you know, it really
choked me up.
Correct. You know, describe that time when it happened.
That time that it choked me up, I would think when I did my poem when I became homecoming queen at 18.
Okay.
And I was in school, and at 17, and I was in school, and I was running for homecoming queen, and I decided I'm going to use my original work and put it in there. When we finished, you know, they did us scores, and when we finished, everybody said that my scores was through the roof, and I realized in that moment that even the young people at that time, being 17, was just so excited about what I said or what it meant. And I think that was the click for me that let me know how profound and how much value it had, and that it was no age group. It was just about the gift, and that as long as you had a soul, you would feel me. And so that emotion of knowing that they felt me, even though everybody was in different places and everybody wasn't into poetry. Everybody always says, oh, I don't do poetry. And I'm like, well, let me share something for you, because I think you have the wrong idea. I can't even describe it, but I just know that it is a feeling. And so that was a transcendent moment. It let me see how deep my value goes.
So do you perform on a regular basis, and where do you normally do your performing at?
Well, I do perform on a normal basis, a regular basis. I often go live on my Facebook group page, which is I Choose Me, #No More Excuses. I also have a YouTube page that you can subscribe to. That's I Choose Me, #No More Excuses as well. You can find me everywhere where I Choose Me, #No More Excuses. But I do a lot of local events, people's churches. I've done funerals. Like if somebody called me and saying, you know, that's last minute, but it only takes me 15, 20 minutes. So if you want to make a special poem for your loved one, you just let me know what they mean, and I can jot something down, and it's just graduation. So it doesn't matter. I can write for any and everything. You just have to give me a piece of them, and I can take it from there.